I was 4 months into my third deployment, trapped inside a windowless steel container on the other side of the world, when the message arrived. The base never truly slept. Diesel generators hummed endlessly outside, rotor blades thudded somewhere in the distance, and the stale heat pressed against the walls like a living thing. It was Zoeter 300 hours where I was. Back home in Virginia Beach, it was a blazing Tuesday afternoon. My 15-year-old daughter Nora almost never texted during my rotations unless it was something small. A row of emojis, a picture of our golden retriever, a quick complaint about homework. But this message was different. The screen lit up the darkness beside my cot. Dad, I need to tell you something, but I'm scared. A cold knot tightened in my stomach. When your child sends those words from thousands of miles away, your mind doesn't move slowly. It falls straight into panic. Car accident, hospital, emergency, something I couldn't reach from a combat zone. Me, whatever it is, sweetheart, you can tell me. Are you safe? The typing bubble appeared, then vanished, then appeared again. Nora, yes, it's about Mom. I let out a breath I didn't know I had been holding. My wife of 12 years, Marissa. The perfect military spouse, at least from the outside. She ran the local support group, put patriotic stickers on her SUV, mailed care packages that smelled like lavender and home. May, what about Mom? Is she hurt? Nora, she's been bringing men over. Different ones at first. Now it's mostly one. They stay late. Sometimes he sleeps here. I stared at the words until they blurred. The hum of the generator suddenly sounded deafening. I was sitting in a war zone, armed and trained for enemy fire, while my family was being destroyed through a phone screen. Nora, I'm sorry, Dad. I didn't want to ruin your deployment. I know you need to focus. But it's been happening for 2 months, and I don't know what to do anymore. My heart hurt for her more than for myself. My daughter had been carrying the weight of my broken marriage alone, moving quietly through her own home, swallowing fear so I could keep functioning. Me, you were brave to tell me. I'm not mad at you, never. How are you handling it? Nora, I stay in my room. I push my dresser against the door at night and put on headphones. Mom thinks I'm just being dramatic. She thinks I don't know. Me and Mason, Nora, he's 10, Dad. He sleeps through everything, but the man Mom introduced him to Mason as Uncle Travis. Dad, I feel sick. Uncle Travis. Something hot and violent rose inside me. Not just betrayal, not just rage, a protective fury so sharp I had to close my eyes to steady my breathing. Me, listen carefully. Don't confront her. Act normal. Keep doing what you're doing. Can you hold on a little longer for me? Nora, I can. Dad, are you okay? No. I felt like I had been shot through the chest, but fathers don't bleed on their children. Me, I'm gonna fix this. I promise. Stay quiet. Stay safe. I set the phone down. The betrayal pressed against my ribs like a physical weight. But the military teaches you one useful thing. When you are ambushed, you do not panic. You assess, adapt, and strike with precision. Marissa thought my absence protected her. She was about to learn that distance gave me a wider view. Then my phone buzzed again. Nora, Dad. She's knocking on my door. She heard me crying. She's asking who I'm talking to. Me, delete this chat. Tell her you were watching a sad movie. Breathe, then nothing. No typing bubble, no reply, just silence. 5 minutes passed, 10, 15. I sat there in that steel box, completely blind to whatever was happening in my own hallway on the other side of the world. The next 24 hours were torture. I ran drills with my platoon, barked orders, checked equipment, drank black coffee, and felt like my mind was still trapped inside my house in Virginia. Finally, Nora sent one thumbs up emoji. Later, she told me what Marissa had said while standing in her doorway with a glass of wine in her hand. You need to stop sulking, Nora. Your father chose his career over us again. He left us. I'm just trying to keep this family together and find a little happiness before I lose my mind. You should be happy for me. That was the moment heartbreak turned into ice. She wasn't just cheating, she was twisting my service into abandonment and pouring that poison into our daughter's mind. I needed someone on the ground. So I called Reynolds. Reynolds had been my squad leader before a knee injury forced him into medical retirement. He lived less than an hour from my house now and ran a private security business. "Talk to me, brother," he said when he answered. "You sound like you're about to walk into a fire. I need eyes on my house, Blake." Quietly yesterday. There was a pause.
Marissa. Yeah.
"And she's got some guy playing family with my kids." I heard him inhale sharply. "Say less. My cousin runs a smart home and HVAC company. We'll send a truck tomorrow. Routine inspection, smart meter upgrade, gas line safety check, all military housing in the area. She won't question it." Reynolds kept his word. 2 days later, I got an encrypted link. Marissa had welcomed the contractors inside, complaining about how hard it was to handle repairs while her husband was always gone. The footage began uploading to a private server. The first video was timestamped Friday 600 p.m. The camera was hidden in the living room smoke detector. I watched as my front door opened. Marissa walked in laughing, carrying grocery bags. Behind her came Travis. He had gelled hair, expensive gym clothes, and the smug comfort of a man who believed he belonged somewhere he had never earned. He walked straight to my oak bar, poured himself my scotch, then strolled out to the patio like he owned the place. The backyard camera caught him lighting my smoker, the one I had saved months to buy. He was wearing the apron my kids had given me for Father's Day, world's best grill dad. Then he pulled Marissa close and kissed her over the coals. I watched every video, every late-night visit, every overnight stay while my children slept down the hall, every driveway goodbye, every moment they turned my home into their playground. I cataloged it all. Then 3 days later, something worse arrived. A banking alert, pending withdrawal of $45,000. My stomach dropped. It wasn't from the joint checking account where my deployment pay went. It was from a restricted savings account, Nora's college fund. I logged into the banking portal through a secure VPN, hands shaking with anger. The transfer was going to an external LLC, Travis Mercer Holdings, registered only 3 weeks earlier. Marissa wasn't just spending my money on dinners and hotel rooms. She was trying to steal my daughter's future to fund her lover's fake business. I called the bank's fraud department. The representative sounded painfully cheerful. "Sir, your wife is listed as a secondary authorized signer, so she can initiate the transfer. That money is for my daughter's education," I said, keeping my voice low. "I am the primary account holder. Stop it. Because your account is flagged under active military deployment protection, large external transfers require a 14-day clearance period. The funds are frozen in escrow. To permanently block the transfer and remove her access, we need either your physical presence at a branch with legal documentation, or a direct court order." 14 days. The countdown had started. That evening I reviewed more footage. Marissa and Travis stood in my kitchen, drinking my wine. "The camp deposit is due Friday," Marissa said. "If we send Mason to the wilderness program and Nora to that art intensive in New York, we'll have the house to ourselves for a whole month." "No kids. Just us?" "And the money?" Travis asked. Marissa smiled. "My stupid husband's deployment pay covers the bills, and that investment transfer clears soon. We can get your new Range Rover too." My stupid husband. I shut the laptop and walked straight to my commanding officer's quarters. "Sir, I'm formally requesting immediate compassionate reassignment," I said. Colonel Whittaker looked up slowly. He knew me. He knew I didn't break easily. "At ease. What happened?" "My wife is draining my savings, trying to take my daughter's college fund for her lover, and damaging my children while I'm stuck here. If I'm not standing in a Virginia bank in less than 10 days, my family's financial future is gone. He leaned back. A transfer takes time, even expedited. We're also in a critical phase. Sir, I've given 12 years to this uniform. I'm asking for 3 weeks early. Put me on a cargo flight, a supply run, anything. I'll take whatever consequence comes later, but I need to go home. He stared at me for a long time. Then he picked up a pen. I'll make calls. But until you land, nobody stateside knows you're coming. Not a word. Less, sir. The next week was controlled chaos. I hired a military divorce attorney named Grant and sent him everything: videos, bank records, texts, transfer alerts. He prepared the divorce petition, emergency financial orders, and custody filings. I became a ghost moving through the system. When I finally landed at Norfolk, Reynolds was waiting by his black pickup truck. He handed me coffee and a sealed envelope. Court orders, he said. Grant came through. Take me to the bank, I said. By noon, the accounts were frozen. Nora's college fund was locked. Marissa's access was cut off. The financial perimeter was secure. Now it was time to clear my house. My phone buzzed. Nora, Dad. Mom is throwing a party tonight. Travis invited people. They're using the speakers. She told me to stay in my room and not embarrass her. I hate it here. I looked at the clock. Me, lock your door. Put your headphones on. I'll see you soon. Nora, what do you mean? When? I didn't answer. When we reached my street, unfamiliar cars lined the curb. A shiny new SUV was parked crookedly in my driveway, probably the one Travis wanted to buy with my daughter's money. Bass thudded through the walls of my house. Reynolds parked down the block and killed the engine. I was in full dress uniform, ribbons sharp, boots polished, shoulders squared. It wasn't vanity. It was strategy. I wanted Marissa to see exactly what she had betrayed. I'll watch the perimeter, Reynolds said. Text me if you need me inside. I've got it. I walked up my driveway and opened the unlocked front door. The smell hit first. Cheap cologne. Spilled beer. Lavender candles. My living room was full of strangers laughing and drinking like my home was a nightclub. I stood in the entryway without speaking. It took less than 15 seconds for the room to notice. A woman near the door stopped laughing. Her eyes widened when she saw the uniform, the medals, the expression on my face. She nudged the man beside her. Silence spread through the room until someone finally turned off the music. The crowd parted. At the kitchen island stood my wife. Marissa wore a silk dress I had bought her on our anniversary. She held a champagne flute. Beside her stood Travis, his arm wrapped around her waist like he owned her, the house, and everything inside it. Marissa turned, irritated by the silence. Turned off the... Her words disappeared. The glass slipped from her fingers and shattered on the floor. All color drained from her face. She looked like she had seen a ghost. In a way, she had. Hello, Marissa, I said. Travis dropped his arm from her waist and stepped back. Who the hell are you? I ignored him. Where are my children? Marissa's mouth opened and closed. You're supposed to be overseas for another month. Change of plans? I said. Where are my children? Before she could answer, a small voice came from upstairs. Dad. Amazon stood at the top of the staircase, gripping a video game controller, eyes wide. Then Nora's door opened. She saw me, saw the silent crowd, saw the broken glass on the floor, and burst into tears of relief. She ran down the stairs and crashed into my arms. I held her tightly. I've got you, I whispered. I told you I'd fix it. Mason ran down next, wrapping his arms around my waist. You're home. Mom didn't say you were coming. It's a surprise, buddy, I said, looking over their heads at Marissa, a big one. Marissa took one shaky step toward me, tears already forming. The performance had begun. Baby, please, let's go to the office and talk. This is a misunderstanding. Travis is just a friend from the support group. I gave a humorless laugh and gently moved the kids behind me. A friend. I pulled the manila envelope from inside my jacket and slammed it onto the kitchen island beside Travis's beer. A friend who sleeps in my bed. A friend who wears my Father's Day apron. A friend you plan to buy a Range Rover with using Nora's college fund. The guests gasped. Travis turned sharply toward Marissa. What did he just say? I opened the envelope and spilled the contents across the counter. Photographs. Timestamps. Footage stills. Proof. Marissa lunged forward to cover them. Where did you get these?
You spied on me. That's illegal. My house,
I said. My security system. My lawyer disagrees with you. Lawyer, she whispered. I slid the legal documents toward her. You've been served. Divorce. Emergency custody. Financial injunction.
You can't do this,
she screamed. I'm their mother. I'll take the house. I'll take your pension. I'll take everything. No, I said quietly. You won't? I leaned closer. The bank froze every account this morning. My deployment pay was redirected weeks ago. The joint cards are maxed out because I stopped covering your spending. And the 45,000 transfer from Nora's college fund. I tapped the documents. Cancelled. Under review for fraud. Then I looked at Travis. I hope you love her because she's unemployed, buried in debt, and now completely cut off. Travis looked at the photos. Then at Marissa. Then at me. The calculation was visible on his face. Travis, don't listen to him, Marissa pleaded, grabbing his arm. My lawyer will destroy him. We'll still get the house. He pulled away. Get off me.
Marissa?
Travis. You told me you were separated, he snapped. You told me he abandoned you and left you loaded with cash. I'm not getting dragged into this. He raised his hands toward me. Men, I didn't know. I'm out. Then he pushed through the crowd and ran out the front door. I watched him leave with disgust. Marissa had gambled her family for a coward who disappeared the moment the money did. Party's over, I said. Everyone out of my house. Now, they scattered. Within minutes, only my family remained. Marissa collapsed to the floor sobbing. You ruined my life! You planned all of this behind my back! You ruined your own life, I said. I only documented it. Your bags are in the garage. Leave your keys on the counter. Where am I supposed to go? Call Travis, I said. Or your mother. Then I turned away from her and went to my children. Nora held Mason's hand. I knelt in front of them and pulled them both into my arms. Behind me, the front door slammed. The silence afterward was the first peaceful sound I had heard in months. The divorce was finalized 8 months later. Marissa fought, of course. She tried to paint herself as the abandoned wife. She cried to anyone in the military community who would listen. But the evidence was too strong. The judge reviewed the financial records, the attempted theft of a minor's education fund, the footage of strangers in the home, and the damage done to the children. I kept the house, my pension, and primary custody. Marissa received supervised alternate weekends until she completed counseling and a parenting course. She moved back into her mother's house in Richmond and eventually took a night shift job at a local diner. Ironically, it was the same diner where she and Travis had once eaten on my money. Karma has a strange sense of poetry. Nora slowly became herself again. The anxiety lifted from her face. We spent long evenings on the porch, talking through everything Marissa had tried to bury. She told me once that the day I walked through the door in uniform was the proudest moment of her life. Mason struggled more. He was younger, and his mother's sudden absence confused him. One night, as I tucked him into bed, he looked up at me with sad eyes. Dad, did Mom leave because she liked Uncle Travis more than us? That question broke something in me. I sat beside him and pulled him close. No, buddy. Your mom made bad choices because she forgot how to be part of a team. That had nothing to do with you. You and your sister are the best things in my life, and I am not leaving you. I'm retired from active duty now. I traded desert heat for school drop-offs, little league games, grocery lists, homework, and the quiet peace of a house without secrets. I learned the hard way that the battlefield is not always overseas. Sometimes the most dangerous enemy is the person sleeping beside you. But I also learned something else. Real strength is not just surviving the ambush. It is having enough patience, discipline, and love to make sure they never hurt your children again.